Have you ever sat down to finally get something done, and somehow ended up doing everything except that? You open your laptop, and suddenly your desk needs organizing. Your coffee needs a refill. Your phone buzzes, and you just have to check it. It's not that you're lazy. It's that your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, protecting you from effort it thinks is going to cost too much. Before you even start a task, your brain quietly runs the numbers. It estimates how hard something's going to be, and if that number feels too high, it blocks you. Not with willpower, not with laziness, with straight-up avoidance. There's actually a name for this: task initiation resistance. And it kicks in within seconds of you even thinking about starting. Here's what's happening underneath it. Your prefrontal cortex, the planning, goal-setting part of your brain, has to convince some much older, more primitive circuits to go along with the plan. And those older circuits only care about one thing: don't waste energy you don't have to waste. So when a task feels big, unclear, or effortful, your brain exaggerates just how bad it's going to be. It's not lying to hurt you, it's lying to protect you. But the effect is the same. You sit there, stuck, before you've even begun. Now, most people try to fix this with pure willpower. They force themselves into 2-hour sessions. They set brutal deadlines and hope fear pushes them through. And sure, that works, for a day, maybe 2. Then the motivation runs out and you're right back where you started. The problem is, willpower doesn't actually lower that starting cost your brain calculated. It just tries to override it by force, and that's exhausting to sustain. So what actually works? You need something that tricks your brain into agreeing to start, not something that fights it. That's exactly what the 4-minute method does. Here's how it works. Pick the task you've been putting off, the one you already know you're avoiding. Set a timer for just 4 minutes. Not 20, not 60. 4. And tell yourself the truth. You only have to work until that timer goes off. Nothing more is required of you. Here's why this works so well. 4 minutes feel so small that your brain doesn't even bother resisting. There's no negotiation because the cost estimate suddenly looks tiny and completely safe. So you open the document, you pick up the book, you start the spreadsheet. Whatever it is, you begin the second the timer starts counting down. And when the 4 minutes are up, you're allowed to stop. Completely. No guilt, no pressure to keep going. But here's the part that actually surprises people almost every time. Once you cross that starting line, momentum usually just takes over. The hardest part was never the task. It was only ever the beginning. Most people find that 4 minutes quietly turns into 20 or 40 or an entire afternoon without them even noticing the shift. This isn't a new idea either. Elite athletes use the exact same principle before hard training sessions. They don't promise themselves a full brutal workout before they even walk into the gym. That would be too big a number for the brain to accept. Instead, they just promise themselves 5 easy minutes of movement. And once the body's already moving, it tends to keep going on its own. There's a writer who used this trick to finish an entire book. She never told herself she had to write for hours. She only ever promised herself 4 minutes of typing. Most days, those 4 minutes turned into 2 hours before she even realized it. And on the days it didn't, she still kept her streak alive, because she'd already done what she promised herself. That's the real power hidden in this method. It's not really about the 4 minutes at all. It's about removing the pressure to finish and replacing it with permission to just start. Your brain will always try to negotiate over hours. It almost never bothers negotiating over minutes. Use this enough times and something starts to shift. The tasks you used to dread stop feeling threatening before you even begin them. Your brain slowly learns that starting doesn't cost nearly as much as it used to predict. And over time, that's the real difference between people who seem to focus effortlessly and people who constantly struggle to begin. It was never about discipline or motivation or being naturally hardworking. It was always about making that very first step small enough to walk through. So next time you catch yourself avoiding something, don't promise yourself the whole task. Just promise yourself 4 minutes. Set the timer and start before you give your brain the chance to talk you out of it. Your brain doesn't need more discipline. It just needs a smaller door to walk through.